Hi guys, I'm Madeline Harvey and thank you so much for hanging out with me today. In our lesson today, we're going to take you through a warm-up specifically to freeing your voice. So if you like today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I'd love to see you here more often. So the video that you're about to see was taken as a clip from a live voice lesson that was shot earlier today. So we'll have for you a quick warm-up on how to free your voice. But if you would like the full intensive, it's about an hour in length, then I invite you to click that join button below and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our live voice lessons that we do every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, just click that join button below. It's only $4.99 a month, and your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content for you. You ready to get started? Here we go. Hi everyone! Happy Thursday. I'm so excited that you're all here. I absolutely love seeing your comments before we get started. It really amps me up. Hi, my so-called live. Hi, Dixie. Welcome to your very first live lesson. And Mary, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you in today's live together. So happy to be together. So our objective for today's live is a warm-up that you can do daily that will free your voice. But before we get started on that, as I said earlier, I'm so happy to welcome our new members to today's live. If you're tuning into the live, if you're going to watch again later, welcome. We're also very happy that you're here. We do these lives every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m., so we hope to see you here and sing with us. So thank you so much for checking out today's live. Some of the exercises that we're going to do today in a warm-up fashion are represented in a couple of the modules that I have available on Skillshare. Specifically because we're talking about freeing the voice, we're going to get into exactly what that means. If you want to learn a little bit more, if you want to dive into more exploratory work about freeing your voice, there is a very long, very intensive module on that on Skillshare. So I hope that you'll check that out. So when we talk about freeing the voice, what are we freeing it from? It's a very important thing to take a moment before we get going and check in with what we expect to help motivate us in terms of sensation. I really want to encourage you to tune into sensation. Singing is all about sensation. It has very little to do with actual sound, partly because the sensation is the cause and the sound is the effect. So if we want to make adjustments, any real and meaningful adjustments to our voice, we can't dawdle about at the effects. We've got to go straight to those causes. So as we are dealing with freeing the voice today, does anyone have an idea about what we are freeing the voice from? What do we want to orient ourselves towards when our objective is freeing the voice and setting that out as a specific sensation to which we will build the voice around? Anybody got any ideas about what we're freeing it from? Well, if you said tension, you'd be right. But I want to go a little bit deeper because sometimes we can't always identify tension. It's like playing the game Battleship. You know, if you've ever played the game Battleship, you have a board in front of you and you can't see where your opponent has placed its battleship. So you basically have to call out coordinates with the hope that you're going to make impact with your opponent's battleship. So sometimes we're casting out coordinates just all willy-nilly, but we know that once we've hit the battleship, oh, it's going down. It's going down. because you have to hit it, I think, four or 5 times. But that's a lot like what tension is. And I like a near attack. You said unnecessary tension. I really like that. I really, really like that. Let's speak on that a little bit more. Unnecessary tension. So any feeling, any sensation of being restricted or stuck or collapsed. We want to free our voice from that unnecessary tension. So keep in mind that, again, if you don't know what's necessary tension or what's unnecessary tension, and you go to do today's exercises and you notice that the voice suddenly crumbles apart, then it's very possible that your voice was being held together by unnecessary tension. And when you let that go, you're kind of restoring the voice back to a state of flow. So that is our objective. So I really encourage you that if that is you, don't freak out. Stay with the exercises that we're about to do. We're going to drill. This is meant to be used as a warm-up that you can do daily. I want you to feel what it feels like to build your voice around something that feels supportive and free. Okay? So now that we've said all that, excuse me, guys, I'm still suffering from this respiratory infection. So now that we've said all that, first thing that we have to get going is we've got to activate our power center, which is our lungs. So I'm going to struggle a little bit, but it's really, really helpful, especially if you are also recovering from COVID or bronchitis or any sort of upper respiratory infection, to be gentle about these. Bring your lungs back to a state of just going to the gym, working out. So the very first thing we have to do is activate our lungs. We have to put them under a little bit of pressure just to get that lung capacity going. Once the lungs are empowered, we can then aim the sound to move through the neck as if the neck was an exhaust pipe on an engine. It doesn't create any real power onto itself, not in today's lesson anyways. So it doesn't really create that tension or that power. We're just going to pass the breath through the neck, and then we're going to get that breath into these resonating chambers to which it will be amplified. Okay, so that's our objective. Activate the lungs, pass through the neck, amplify in the head. Ready? So our first exercise that we're going to do is 2 minutes. I love this one. 2 minutes of lung capacity work. Let me get my metronome going here. We're going to go at 76 beats per minute, which is a little on the slow-ish side. It sounds like this. Like that. Let me pause just for a second. We're going to inhale with, like we're slurping spaghetti. So we're simulating what would be a straw. If you happen to have a straw around you, feel free to use that. But we're going to simulate it with our lips. And notice immediately, my intercostals, my side body here, immediately widened. I'm going straight to the bottom of the lungs. That's part of the reason why we're going like that, slurping up that spaghetti noodle. We're going to do that for 8 counts. And usually we focus the breath on the exhale, but we're going to amplify it. Okay, we're really going to take it up a notch. Slurp it in for 8. You'll feel this like count of suspension, and then hardcore push through fat squirrel cheeks. So let's give that a try before we just get going. Go ahead and relax. Slurp in the noodle. Good. It's actually not quite hard, but we're going to do it consecutively for 2 minutes. This will hold your lungs, especially your bottom lungs, side body and the bottom, under consistent pressure. Consistent pressure. Pull, push, pressure. It's going to feel really great. So here we go. Starting the metronome. Starting our time. Ready? Relax. Here we go. Good. Whoo, good. Feel that nice support. Suddenly, we're so activated down here, and we're using a sense of resistance. We're using a sense of resistance as we inhale because it's coming through that really, really thin lips. Now, it should go straight to the bottom of your lungs. Really meditate on that. If you need to adjust your posture to be a little bit more forward, to feel the expansion in your back and in your side body, that's okay, especially if there is a tendency to go. So if you notice that you've gotten a little dizzy as we've done this exercise, the top of your lungs and the top of your back are still pulling in that breath, and so that's going to the brain. It's very, very similar to hyperventilating. We don't want that. Take your time nice and slow, really. Imagine, this is a horrible, horrible thing to imagine, but when I was really little, and I'm going to date myself a little bit, when I was really little, when we went Halloween trick-or-treating, that's the word, there was often this candy that was like bubble gum that was in the shape of cigarettes. Horrible, horrible. So I would play, and I would because my family, some people in my family smoked. So I kind of knew what they did. I would, and then try to talk, and then like that. So you're just pulling, really activate that side body, those bottom lungs, and then you're taking a moment of suspension, meaning where it's almost feels like you're no longer inhaling right before you exhale, and you feel that energy kind of turn. And you may need to play with that a little bit to meditate on that, but we're just going to move on. Now that we've activated our lungs, we want to make good use of it. So, activated. Now, we want to pass through. Here's the sticky wicket for today's lesson. We've got to get the air to pass through. And the three big enemies of singers is the jaw, the tongue, and the back of the throat. So we've got to position the voice in such a way where none of those elements contract. Now, the jaw and the tongue and the back of the throat are all connected to each other, so that's good news. But we're going to go ahead and let the tongue hang out of the mouth, and then rest your teeth gently down on the tongue. Let the face go, let the tongue go fat and wide, and really, really meditate on completely letting go of the back of your tongue, completely letting go of the back of your throat. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna slide, and we're gonna walk through there. And if you need, because again, if you don't know how to register tension from the tongue, take your thumb, place it right under your chin, and hook that index finger around your chin here. It's very specific, isn't it? That will allow your thumb to be on the lookout. If you feel any pressing down like an arm wrestle into your thumb, that's the root of your tongue tensing, and that's going to eventually obstruct and limit your sound. So our meditation is going to be no movement whatsoever. So it's really going to check you in the lungs. But our objective is relax that root of that tongue. It does not move at all. And by virtue of it not moving, the back of the throat and the jaw won't move either. Okay, so let's give that a try. Actually, let's start a little bit lower. That's low, but join in if it's too low. Join in later if it's too low. Here we go. No movement. It's very relaxing. It's very lazy. You may have to really be on top of it. You may have to really concentrate on not moving that root of the tongue. If you can get your root of the tongue under control, oh, your range will double. Oh, your power will double. Your sound will be so much clearer. It's the root of the tongue that really is the nemesis towards feeling limited and stuck with the voice. So let's give it a try right here. If you find that your throat, your tongue tighten as you go higher, don't forget about your breath. Lean down into the breath as you go high. This will sort of eliminate that tendency for the back of the throat and the tongue to kind of squeeze squeeze at the sound. So let's take it back down. Yeah. This actually is a lot harder. Notice how, again, I'm speaking a little bit louder than I just was because my breath got activated and now there's nothing standing in the way. So my body's returning to a state of flow. So everything just gets a little easier. But if you saw me kind of nod a little bit, I'm kind of gently reading some comments as we go along. And I see BB says, any exercises to relax the tongue? I'm over here thumb wrestling. Now, yes, and Camille says, me too, BB. Yes, this is hard, isn't it? You want to imagine that every time you feel that tongue begin its tightening,